Settling for less than you deserve, settling for breadcrumbs. Why is playing small one of the worst things that you can do? Not just for yourself, but for everybody. This is a theme that came up twice today in client sessions. So in the emotional healing sessions that I provide with my clients, this theme has come up twice. So I'm going to talk to you and hope that this will encourage you as well. So I know that there are plenty of people out there that struggle with this. Playing small. Why do you do that? So the first question I want to ask you as you're watching this, I want you to think to yourself, in what areas of your life are you playing small? Are you settling? Are you accepting breadcrumbs? Is it in your job, your career, your finances? Is it in any one of your relationships? Maybe your dating relationships, maybe you're settling and noticing the same thing coming up over and over and over again. You date someone and they just never seem to be available, for example. A dating relationship, is it in a friendship? Is it in a marriage? Is it in a work relationship? What areas of your life are you settling? So think about that as we're going through this video, and I want you to allow yourself to dig a little deeper within your own heart and in your own mind to help bring awareness to what your stuck points are so you can move past them. And I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you ought to move past those stuck points and stop playing small. Okay, here's the first one. I'm going to refer to my computer here because I have a couple notes here. The first one is false beliefs keep you stuck. Faulty beliefs keep you stuck. What do I mean by that? I would say that the vast majority of the way that you're showing up in life is based upon what you learned earlier. Let me explain what I mean by that. Between the ages of infancy and 7, that is a powerhouse time of information you're basically like a sponge during that time. You're a sponge and you're just absorbing a lot of information to help you make sense of the world. It's basically the formula for the lenses or the glasses that you're going to wear for the rest of your life. For this example, we're going to use this as an example. I'm not saying that you're going to wear these exact same, you're going to have your exact same perceptions for the rest of your life, but just hear me out on this for a moment. For this example's sake, between the ages of infancy to 7, there's a lot of information that you've observed in your environment especially with your primary caretakers. But even things that you may have observed in school or things that maybe kids have told you or teachers have told you that penetrate and give you a sense of how to show up in the world. What do you believe about yourself to be true? And what do you believe about the world to be true? If one child is told by 2 different adults, one adult tells the same child, "You're stupid," and the other adult tells the child, "You're so smart," who's right? Which adult is right? Is either of them right? Are both of them wrong? We're constantly being fed messages, whether verbal messages or even unspoken messages through our through people's body languages or actions or inactions, that is making us believe something about ourselves. So the question to ask yourself when you're noticing yourself settling in any area of your life, ask yourself, let's just say, for example, you're settling in finances. Maybe you're doing a job that's making $50,000 a year, and you have a peer that got the same education as you, went to the same university, and they're making $300,000 a year. Where is the disconnect? Why is it that someone with the same level of education and training and skill set and expertise is making $50,000 and this person is making $300,000. Where's the disconnect? The disconnect is internal. 9 times out of 10, the disconnect that is leaving you playing small is internal. It's faulty beliefs that led you to believe something about yourself that is not true. So when you're thinking about the things that are not working for you in your life, where you're settling, where something is happening where you're like, why do they get this, but I get this? Why is she in such a loving relationship and she just got engaged and I'm, dating a bunch of ridiculous men that don't value me? Why is that? Has a lot more to do. It's not even about, oh, she's prettier, oh, she's smarter, oh, she's this, that. No. It's not even about that. Because I'll tell you, here's another example. On that note, I've worked with women one woman that was talking about this, like, drop dead gorgeous woman, like, stunning. She gets attention wherever she goes. She's just naturally beautiful. And she shared something with me and she said, you know what? I was out with my friend one time and my friend was getting all this attention. And my friend is, she's kind of heavy set. She's not as pretty. Again, these external things, right? But sometimes those are the things that actually get you attention, right? But she's just kind of like, where's the disconnect? Well, part of the disconnect that she discovered later when she started thinking about this is that the disconnect is that her friend, who may not necessarily be externally as beautiful as her, had a stunning personality. She had beauty within herself that was exuding from her pores. People were magnetized to that. When you see yourself in a certain light, people see you in that light too. You can be the most beautiful supermodel, but if you don't think very highly of yourself because of X, Y, or Z, things that were told to you as a child, things that were done to you as a child, you're not going to be seen in that light. Number one, and more importantly, you're not going to see yourself in that light. So the key is to figure out what is the programming the faulty programming that you are given that led you to believe certain things about yourself or about the world around you that is keeping you stuck and giving you perfect opportunistic breeding ground for settling. No more settling. The first thing is you're going to identify what are those false beliefs, okay? Number 2, other people's opinions are often reflections of their own limitations. So let's go back to that example of the child who was told by 2 different adults. One adult said, you're so stupid, or you're stupid. And the other adult's like, oh, you're so smart. This adult that said you're stupid, what is happening inside of them? What is their programming look? They have a lot of faulty programming happening inside of them. Oftentimes the people that put you down are the ones that have the deepest level of programming that is misaligned. It is not aligned with truth of who they are or who the people are around them and in the world. People will often project their own limitations onto you, and you need to be discerning to be able to allow those things to bounce off of you. How do you do that? You do that when you know the truth of who you are. When you've worked through and reprogrammed your own mind and your own heart and your own soul. Okay, so keep that in mind. Number 2, other people's opinions are often reflections of their own limitations and they project that onto you. Number 3, playing small denies the world your gifts. Playing small denies the world your gifts. When you are given, number 1, not even when, you are given gifts and skills. There's a uniqueness about you and only you. There's no other you on the planet. You may have similar skills and passions as other people, but there's no one person that's the same as you. Not one person on the planet is exactly like you. The skills and the passions and the gifts that you've been given, it's been given to you by design. What is that design? The design is for you to help other people. The design is for you to share your gifts to help other people. improve their quality of life, make the world a better place, be in relationship, not just independent on your own all the time, doing everything all by yourself. Do it yourself, do it yourself, do it yourself. If we didn't have any mechanics, for example, and everyone was do it yourself when your engine blows, oh, just figure it out, do it yourself. The mechanic adds a high level of value to our lives. I just got my car fixed recently. It was just under $1,700, and I was so happy to pay that mechanic. You know why? Because I didn't have to do it. I don't want to spend my time and energy figuring out how to fix my car. I could, but how much is that costing you? How much does that cost you when you try to figure everything out on your own? You figure out how to do your taxes. So now you're trying to be an accountant, when an accountant can actually do it faster, more efficiently, and save you more money and time. Why do we all have these different skills and gifts? It's because we are meant to evolve humanity. We're meant to make the world a better place by sharing our gifts and skills. I'm going to give you another example. This is a personal, experiential example. My husband is a strength coach, and he's a damn good strength coach, by the way. He got me stronger than I ever thought that I could ever get. And I've seen him coach other people, getting them stronger than they ever thought possible. Far more than they could ever do on their own. I've seen amazing athletes get trained by my husband who hit plateaus on their own with a lot of level of they're just naturally gifted in athletics, but they hit a threshold, and my husband was able to get them far further. Why? Because my husband is damn good at what he does. He specializes in helping people get super strong and longevity and all that. But I'm going to focus on strength for just a moment. Now, when I started strength training with my husband, he could have just been like, oh, okay, well, you deadlifted what you weigh, that's good enough. He could have. I could have had a goal of like, oh yeah, it'd be really cool to bench 100 pounds and then reach 100 pounds. And my husband's like, oh, well, yeah, that's good enough. No, he didn't stop there. He used his expertise and his knowledge to help me become so much more stronger with his help than I could have on my own.
Right.
I bench press 150, far more than I ever thought I could. And now in my mind, I'm like, okay, how can I even bench even more than that? My point is, every single one of us were given gifts and skills, and it's to benefit other people. And if we were all doing the same exact thing, this world would be so boring and it would be so difficult. Imagine if we were all mechanics, but nobody was a gardener, nobody was a house cleaner, nobody was a grocer, nobody was a truck driver. Our world would shut down. It would not function. Our world functions because you have a skill and probably a passion as well, and it's there for a reason. It's there to better other people's lives. And when you better other people's lives, guess what happens? It betters yours too. And we want to make sure that we don't get it twisted. If we focus too much on, well, how can I better my life, better my life, better my, we get it twisted, we get it backwards, and then we fail. Or even if we succeed, eventually we hit some major roadblock because the principle is reversed. The principle that we're meant to live in by design is to think about what other people need and want and desire, and do all that we can to meet that want, need, and desire to the best of our ability, that want, need, and that desire, and continue to grow and expand and become even better and better and better at that want, need, and desire of other people. And guess what happens to you as a result? You grow, you expand, your finances increase, your quality of life improves. But the principle is to put other people's needs first, and then that will come back to you. Okay, playing small denies the world your gifts. Okay, that was number 3. Number 4, expansion, like I was just mentioning, expansion benefits others, not you. Expansion benefits others, not you. And I kind of just touched on that in number 3 as well. That as you continue to expand, here's another element of that. As you continue to expand, you show others what's possible. You set the example. Let's go back to that example of the person that had the same skill set, same education, that's making $50,000 a year. And now their peer that they graduated with is making $300,000. This person that's making $300,000 is crushing it. They're showing this other person, hey, it's possible. Even if they don't say it in words, they're not verbalizing it, they are showing it in action. They're showing it's possible. Why? Because it's happening. It's reality. It's what you see. It is possible. The more that we expand, we can blow our own minds, but we could also blow the minds of other people. We can continue to elevate people's expansion. Okay, number 5. Growth and fulfillment comes from expansion, not comfort. How do we expand? Oftentimes expansion is not comfortable. Why? Because we're forced to look at those limiting beliefs. We hit these stuck points. What are the stuck points? They're subconscious emotional barriers. They're things from our past that keep us stuck. That's my specialty, is helping people get unstuck by removing the emotions that are the glue that just like keeps these bricks stuck in this roadblock, this wall, right? My specialty is loosening the brick one at a time, taking it off, taking another one off, take it off, take it off, take it off. Okay, then all the wall's gone. Go for it. Okay. Expansion usually doesn't come with comfort. When I was strength training with my husband, it was not comfortable. The very beginning was not comfortable, and then when I started getting, kind of in the mid-range strength, I was like, oh, this isn't too bad. Never comfortable per se, but man, when I got to the point where I had the most growth and expansion, the most strength, it was the most grueling. If you were seeing videos, I would I kind of laugh about this because I was at the gym and it sounds like I'm in labor or something. I'm like, like screaming as I'm trying to squat, 225 pounds. I'm like,
That's good. Squeeze tight out of the bottom. Big breath. Tight. Hips. Keep pushing.
It's not comfortable. Expansion is not comfortable, but it is possible. And when we expand and when we move outside of our comfort zone by disciplining ourselves to, number 1, have the awareness of what's keeping us stuck. Number 2, having the determination to get unstuck. And number 3, helping other people do the same. That's where expansion happens. And it's pretty amazing. I think it's never ending. I don't think that we hit a certain point in our life where we stop expanding. I think there's not a ceiling to expansion in our minds. Perhaps in our bodies, we are physical, we are finite in our physical bodies, but in our minds and our spirits, we're infinite creatures. We're infinite beings. We have a consciousness in a spirit that supersedes time, in my personal opinion. And so there's a limitlessness about that. So again, let's go back to the beginning. Where in your life are you settling? And then ask yourself the follow-up question, why? Why am I settling? Where did this come from? What evidence do I have from my own life, my own experiences, my own emotional experiences, gives evidence to support that I'm meant to settle? Those are your stuck points. Those are your limiting beliefs. You might even be able to articulate exactly who, because there's sometimes an emotional memory, there's like a charge when we have a strong emotional charge, those are the memories we often remember the most, whether for better or worse. Like if I were to ask you, like, what is the best time in your life? You remember those things that had a really strong positive emotional charge. When I ask you, what are the worst times in your life? Why do you remember those? Because they had the strongest emotional charge. Just like dreams. Like some dreams you wake up, you're like, oh, I don't even really remember. It's just like really, really random. Versus a dream that is supercharged with high, deep, intense emotions. You remember those. Why? Because the emotions. When you begin to heal the emotions that are like the glue keeping those things intact and creating a roadblock, when you heal those emotions, it releases the grip and it provides freedom, which is really cool. So on that note, one of the tools that I highly recommend as you're doing this when you're on your personal growth journey, emotions are always going to be a part of that journey. When you're expanding, when you're in this process of expansion, which is, by the way, life, since you're young until we die, we're going to be on a journey of expansion. Emotions are going to be involved in that. What is something that you can do to reduce the intensity of difficult emotions? How can you begin to release the grip of that glue that's keeping everything intact? Check out my number one stress tool, the Pulse Point Stress Tool. I'll leave the link below. It's a really easy, effective, gentle tool that helps to unravel some of those emotions. And if you need something deeper, if you need someone like myself or another person, there's plenty of other practitioners out there. But if you're looking for ways to get unstuck in any one of those stuck points where you're playing small in your life in any way, whether it's your relationships, your finances, your health, your healing, all of that, I'll leave the link below too to set up a one-on-one with me. I do virtual sessions where when we focus on one specific thing. So let's say, for example, it's, playing small as a mom. Maybe you're playing small as a mom. We'll focus on one specific thing. That's my one-on-one sessions for my virtual sessions. I also have intensives. Intensives are good for wanting to unravel and go deeper, where you have more than one specific theme, and it's really for fast tracking emotional healing. So I'll leave that in the link below. But I have a lot of free resources, so check those out too. An ebook on boundaries. I have an ebook on anxiety. I have some more stress tools in that. I'll leave the link to my Stand store, which has basically a lot of different things you can check out. So you can check those out below. Let me know in the comments, what is something that really stuck out to you? Or what is something that has actually helped you on your journey? What has helped you get unstuck and begin to step into your personal power? And if you can't think of any one of those, if you can't answer any one of those two, here's a third question I have for you personally. What is one area in your life that you are committed to changing for the better? What is one area in your life that you are no longer willing to play small in? Let's encourage each other. You can leave a comment below. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.